she's got great chat.
I was coming back here to tell you I loved you.
I licked her tit or whatever.
You know, quicksand. It's like the equivalent, it's made out of dicks.
It's banter. I'm a mommy.
Mommy?
I'm a mom.
Mamacita.
Mommy.
Like a mom of what? A dog?
Are you joking?
You are a liar, actress.
So fast. It's crazy.
First things first, banning gherkins and all McDonald's burgers. And if you still are eating those gherkins, grow up, because they're minging.
Hello and welcome to She's Got the Chat. I am Mara.
And I am Mrs. Roush. And our bit won't die no matter how badly you want it to.
Yeah, it's funny and it will always be funny to me and I think to you. And
It's funny and it's true. So
it's funny and it's true.
a great combination in my humble opinion.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's also going to be so short-lived because after this, Ari, we only have one more recap of Traitors.
Great point, which brings me to what I first wanted to say, which is that we apologize for spreading misinformation. On last week's episode, we said that this week was the finale and we should have looked further into that before we published that to the world. I also am annoyed because I feel like that impacted my prediction. No, by the time it aired, I knew that it wasn't the finale. It didn't impact my viewing, but it impacted the prediction that we put out into the world.
I still feel like your prediction was pretty good, though.
I have a different prediction now.
Well, we have more information now.
Yeah, but yeah, it's because we have more information, but also because there was more time left.
Sure.
I would
That's
have had
true.
a different prediction had I known that there had been 2 weeks remaining.
Yeah.
Anyway, next week literally is, well, I guess if you're listening to this week, Thursday, the 26th will literally be the finale of the Traitors and the reunion, question mark? Are we 100%
Yes, and the
positive about
reunion.
that? Now I'm feeling
I am 100% positive about that. I looked this up at the beginning of the season because I was like, what do we expect for recording schedule?
The Traitors season 4 reunion and finale will stream together on Thursday, February 26th at 9 p.m. I'm actually pissed because I have a team retreat. I'm so annoyed.
What do you mean? Oh, do you have to do something that day?
And tonight.
Oh.
I have to stay at a hotel in Boulder Thursday night, and it's Thursday and Friday. But I actually didn't book the hotel.
Okay.
So I think I'll stay with my mom and watch and hopefully get rid of her because we know that her takes are not always.
They're going to kill him.
What happens to him now?
So funny. Oh. Yeah, that's tough. I'm actually going to, I have like dinner plans that night, but we have all pretty much agreed, like 3 of us who are going to dinner watch Traitors and the other 2 don't, but we've got the other 2 on board for watching, even though they haven't been watching this season.
At dinner?
After dinner, because our dinner's kind of early, and then we're going to do an after dinner Traitors watch.
That honestly feels like watching with my mom. Like my nightmare is watching the finale with people who haven't been watching the season. My nightmare is watching the finale with anyone. I need to be alone. It's a very private experience for me.
I kind of agree with you, but I am like, it would be so difficult for me. Like if my choice is between not watching it and avoiding spoilers the next day or just sucking it up and watching it with my friends.
Right. And then watching it alone later.
And then I'll watch it alone later. I absolutely will, because I've been watching all these episodes twice.
Yeah, same.
So, and let me tell you, if I could do that for Love Island, boy howdy. If I had the time to watch 12 hours of Love Island every week, I would. But
you would?
Because I feel like my notes are so much better when I watch it twice.
Oh, yeah, but we also just like don't. I know that everyone's like, oh, this season is so great of Love Island All Stars.
I sure as fuck would not waste my time watching All Stars twice, but just like, you know, like USA.
That's why I was confused. I was like, you wish that you had the time to be watching these episodes twice. We don't even need to play a hot take because
no. No, All Stars is slow enough that I can pretty much gather all of the intel right away. Sorry to the All Stars like people who like it.
What did you do this weekend?
I stayed out too late on Friday, but I went over to my friend's house and we recorded more music. But we decided to make martinis beforehand and then got kind of drunk and then didn't sound very good recording. So everything that we taped was not very good. And then I had my cousin's first birthday party yesterday, which was very cute. It was rodeo themed. And I was like, where's Rob? Where are pictures of Rob? Rob should be here. Because everyone was wearing like Western cowboy clothes.
At a first birthday party?
Yeah, it was rodeo themed.
I know, but for me, Rob is PG-13.
Sure. But like they're babies. They don't know. They can't process that.
Honestly, this leads into perfectly what I did last night, which is I went to an 18 plus rave. Would not recommend.
Why?
Because it's heated rival rave and it was very fun. But two things.
Mm-hmm.
The generational divide is so fucking real. They were going back and forth between like whoever the fuck is hot right now. Zara Larson. Like,
oh, I know who she is.
You know who she is?
Yeah, I feel like she's more millennial. I guess no, she's pretty Gen Z. But yeah, I know who Zara Larson is.
I know who she is, but like, do I know a lot of her songs? No. I like have seen the like Lush Life dance everywhere. That's a bad example. But like, she's
day as if it was the last. That's an old song though. That's a really old song.
But she's like 22.
That song came out like 6 years ago. That was like 2018, 2017.
Oh my God, she's 28. Not Zara Larson. Forget I said that. A different person. A different.
I mean, Zara Larson. Yeah, she just has that new album out too.
What I'm trying to say is that it was like half of the crowd would be like screaming for one song and then would go silent, and then the other half of the crowd would be screaming for the next song. It was like I guess Zara Larson is the only one that I said because I'm like, I feel like the Gen Zers liked her, but literally everyone else I've never heard of. And so I would just be like standing there swaying and like nothing, like I was like, I don't know this, but everyone is like filming them, like Snapchatting, like knows every fucking song or every fucking word to the song. And then that song ends and then it's like toxic and like I'm dropping it low and they're all like standing there swaying and chatting. It was so weird. But also the other thing I'll say about partying with 18-year-olds is that there is like such a specific like crowd etiquette that I don't really remember having to learn, but like clearly I did at some point, where like obviously you're always touching people, but also like you have your own space. You also aren't like leaving big spaces. Like it's just, I feel like it's not that complicated, but apparently it is. I was like so annoyed because the first half of the night, there was literally this little boy. Like everyone, I looked around, everyone has X's on their hands, meaning like not 21.
I know. Yeah. The good old X.
There's this little boy like standing there, obviously like with some girl that brought him, but he's like won't get close to her. And there's like all this space in front of him. And like because he's not moving at all, he's like not moving with the crowd. And so he's just like a fucking like pole in the middle of this crowd that I keep getting pushed into because the crowd inherently moves a little bit, flows. And so I'm like rubbing my ass on this 18-year-old boy unintentionally, but I was like, this is awful. I kept getting pushed into him and he like wouldn't move even though people were, it was crazy. And there was like space in front of him. And then this other girl came in like obviously so drunk and was just like in a space, like into the crowd where there was no space for her and was like, and like literally just like hitting people with her arms. And I'm like, these other two little 18-year-old girls they look at each other and they go, this is why we hate people our age. And then the little boy finally moved. And so there's some space. And so I like ushered these two 18-year-old girls into the space and they were like, thank you so much. They like hated the guts of this fucking chick.
I love that you're calling him a little boy.
It was giving
as if
little
he's
boy.
like 8 years old.
Also, I don't know that they're 18. All I know is that they're between 18 and
under 20.
Yeah. Anyway, he was a little boy, and I felt like I watched porn with children last night. So add me to the Epstein list.
I just want to say I'm very glad that you had this experience because I also recently went to a heated rivalry dance party and I had the exact same experience, Ari.
Really?
Yes, the exact same experience. So the music in particular, 100%, it would vacillate between like millennial bangers and like current Gen Z pop tunes.
They knew that they couldn't do like half and half. It had to go back and forth to keep the whole crowd engaged.
Yes. And it was the same experience where this they played Sandstorm at one point. You know that boop, 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 yeah. Anyway, so they played that at one point and me and my friends were like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then everyone else was like, what the fuck is this? And then they like the next song was like something so random that I had never heard of. And they were all like, yeah. And I was
singing
like,
every word, right?
I don't know this song.
And or like I've heard the chorus of the song on TikTok. That was the most often scenario, but they knew every single word to the song.
I know. I was like, it was hard for me in particular because I like to think that I'm pretty up to date with the youth.
Right.
Given that I'm around them all the time. And also like I am chronically online. Being on TikTok a lot more lends you to being more aware of these kinds of things.
Yeah.
But even still, there are blind spots. So I had less of an issue regarding the spatial awareness of others, but I think that's I'm going to gender people here for a second. I went to a Dyke Night sponsored heated rivalry event.
Yeah,
so
there are Sapphic events and Club 90s is the other one that's hosting these events around the country, and that's the one we went to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this one's like Dyke Night is like a Baltimore queer community specific.
Oh, okay.
They hosted this event, and so there was a lot of women there, and I feel like thus they were more mindful of people's space. But
yeah, there were more men than I expected at this event.
That's fun.
Menver, as they say.
And they're all gay.
I mean, at heated rival rave, you can't use that as a data point.
I'm kidding. I'm just going off of my conspiracy.
They were not all gay. This little boy was not gay.
Was he bi? Was he not gay yet?
I didn't talk to him. I did have a soda. Like I got a Diet Coke because I'm trying not to drink that much. That was like refillable. And I kept turning to my friend Heather and being like, should I like offer this to him and be like, go get a soda, little boy? Like leave. It was so annoying. Like why do you go to a rave and just stand there and there's like all this space in front of him? But I don't want to be in front of him because then I'm accidentally rubbing my ass on you even more than I already am.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, but it was fun. I had a great time.
Good. I'm glad you had fun. That's awesome.
As a reminder, we have a new podcast segment that we will be doing. It is called Hot Take of the Week, and we are inviting all of our listeners to send in a strictly 2 minutes or less audio clip, voice recording of yourself sharing a hot take about either Traitors or All Stars, and we will play those at the end of the episode, so you got to stay tuned for that. You can submit that either through our Discord. The link to join our Discord is in our Instagram bio. You can also email it to she'sgotthechat@gmail.com. If you have submitted one and it's been over 2 minutes, we're not going to use it, so feel free to resubmit.
Yeah, re-record it, resubmit. Under 2 minutes, please.
Yeah.
Yes. As a reminder, the All Stars finale airs tonight. You're listening to this Monday, February 23rd. It'll be on tonight, where you're going to get a recap of basically last week's episodes Thursday. And then you'll get a recap of the following episodes the following Thursday. And I think that should encompass all of it.
Yes.
I don't think the finale episode will be like I don't think it'll be much later than a week. So I don't know why we're behind. Maybe that's because we've been doing 5 episodes, not 6.
Yeah.
And I guess, okay, I didn't realize that. I don't know.
That's why we're behind.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't care. And also,
I don't really care either.
Pay us, share our podcast, tell everyone you love to listen to our podcast, and then maybe we could actually do this full time and like actually recap 2 shows at once. That would be a whole new world.
That would be crazy.
not something that we're really capable of doing now beyond how we've been doing it, which is focusing on the Traitors. And I mean, listen,
which is more than we've done in the past, I might add. This is an upgrade.
It's still extremely time consuming to be watching Love Island All Stars, period.
Yes.
Let alone recapping it at all. So
be grateful. Yes.
Be great.
Also, as a reminder, we have a little partnership with Nuuly. If you are looking for some new clothes to add to your wardrobe without the commitment of buying them outright, highly recommend renting them from Nuuly. You can go to the link in our Instagram bio, and then when you check out, put in rent1515 as your promo code, and you'll get $15 off your first and second month at Nuuly.
Highly recommend. And we don't have any 5-star reviews to read this week, and so leave us some. You can do that on your preferred podcast platform. We generally read comments on Spotify and reviews on Apple, so feel free to do either. But please leave us 5 stars everywhere you get your podcast. We're finally back up to 4.1. Proud of us.
Thank God. Praise. And we have gotten 5-star reviews just without
we've gotten 5-star ratings.
The written, 5-star ratings, but without the little script, if you will.
Yes. So obviously we can't shout you out. If you want us to shout you out, please go write something nice in addition to your 5 stars, but all is appreciated.
Yes, all is appreciated. You can also leave us a comment on Spotify. I often see them. I don't always bring them up on the show, but I do read them. I could read one. Oh, I liked this one. This is from Carlsley. They said, Ronan Keating is a well-known figure in Australia. I think he's married to an Aussie and has lived here for years. Hearing today's pod episode made me realize that you guys have missed all of the roller coaster jokes that have been flying around the villa. Ronan has a song called Life is a Roller Coaster, so they leaned heavily on that one pun with Jack.
Oh, thank you.
We were absolutely missing the puns. Yes.
Thank you so much for telling us.
That is solid info.
Yeah, I would not have known. Interesting also that he's huge in Australia.
Yeah, I think it really fascinates me like musicians who are very popular in other countries but not the US, or like vice versa.
Did you ever watch Searching for Sugar Man?
No. What is that?
Oh my God. It's such a good movie. You'll have to watch it. Let me see. Make sure that that's what it's called. Yes. Searching for Sugar Man is a 2012 documentary film. Essentially, it's about this musician who was like rumored to be dead and like was humongous in South Africa, not Australia, South Africa. And he was just like living his life in America and like had no idea that he was like really famous there.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then they like brought him there for a show. It's cool, and the music is good. You should listen.
Okay.
/watch. I would recommend watching, and then you'll want to listen.
I love that. I feel like that's like us like being really famous in Iceland. We do
it's
really
exactly
well in
the
Iceland.
same thing. It's not like that because we know about that.
That's true. That's a good point.
Also, do we do well in Iceland, or is it just a very small population?
Both. We are always charting in Iceland.
Let us know if you're an Icelandic listener. Please let us know. Like, are we famous? Should we come visit? Do you want a live show?
It's actually so easy for me to get to Iceland. They have like a direct flight from Dulles there, and it's cheap.
I'm very down. I just need to be convinced that we're the sugar man of Iceland. If you're Icelandic or not, we still want to engage with you. We still want for you to follow us on social media at She's Got the Chat on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Facebook. And then, as we said, please leave us a rating, leave us a review, and subscribe on all podcast platforms.
And without further ado, Ari, let's get into episode 10 of The Traitors. Do you know the enemy?
I do.
Is it Rob?
It's Tara.
It's Tara. Spoiler.
Let's chat.
Okay, we start our episode off with breakfast. Mara and Rob enter the breakfast room first, and Mara says that if Rob turned around and said that he was a traitor, she would literally die.
Yeah.
and says that she trusts him fully.
I'd be in shock if he turned around and said, I'm a traitor. And he goes, yeah.
Yeah. He does this a lot. His response to so many things this episode are, yeah.
Yeah. It reminded me of, and I apologize because I don't remember who said this, but somebody in a previous season was like, a really good way to suss out who a traitor is like, we're all sleep deprived, but the traitors have to stay up later to film their turret scenes after the rest of us go to bed. And so the traitors are usually extra sleep deprived. And Rob, this episode is giving like sleep deprivation has fully like caught up to me.
I agree. He was definitely sweating a lot more in this episode. He seemed more like worn down on the edges, you know? Yeah.
He seemed worn down, period, for the first time.
Yes.
Like, we haven't seen him like this.
Right. He also ITMs that he feels guilty for all of the lying and the scheming.
He feels the weight of it.
Yeah, he's our empathetic king.
Yeah. I will say, Harry, Traitors UK season 2, very similar storyline, very similar journey. Had personal relationships with people, started to be like, fuck, I do feel bad, but like, it's the role you're playing.
It's the game. The game's the game. Next in is Eric and Mark, and Mara says she doesn't trust Natalie and Johnny. Next, Tara enters, and then we see Johnny enter, and then they all discuss what happened last night. Last in to the breakfast room is Natalie wearing a freakum dress.
I don't know what that means.
You know that song by Beyonce, put your freakum dress on, put your freakum. Okay. Anyway, it's just like a tight club dress.
Oh. Yeah, like her and Rob next to each other was giving like, what event are you going to?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, who is Natalie's stylist?
So I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard that it was like Natalie didn't bring in a lot of options. And so like the stylist of the show was helping. And it was just kind of like, here's what we have.
Interesting. Because I will say like this is a excellent color on her. But was the dress the right dress?
No, it was not giving. Her outfits this whole season have
been really odd. They've been very like leather heavy, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe she borrowed this dress from Mara. It was like, because Mara's been wearing a lot of leather.
Ugh, Mara has looked amazing this entire season.
She looks incredible. I know.
When Natalie comes into breakfast, she ITMs that she is coming in with a fresh set of eyes and she's ready to look at theories she has not yet looked at. And boy, is she right? Is she willing to look at theories and really glom onto them? Tara goes to the right person.
She does. So everyone is able to put together when Natalie walks in that Kristen has been killed. And we see Eric and Rob then in the turret, and they're discussing murdering Kristen and how that does put heat on Eric, but only really coming from Mark. Rob seems to think that they can convince Mark that Eric is not a threat. Rob then says he feels defeated and played. This is in the breakfast room. He's just, lying. And then we see Natalie and Tara chat. And Tara says that she suspects Rob. And they talk about like blindly trusting him.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie wonders why she isn't murdered yet. Because she's a gamer and she obviously would have a target on her back because of that. And then they both kind of discuss how they want to talk to Mara about their theory of Rob being a traitor.
Idiots.
Yes.
She is the last person you should talk to.
Mm-hmm. To quote Wiltlin, Mara, my man, Higgins.
Mm-hmm. No, literally.
What an accurate description of Mara Higgins this episode.
This episode, I can only imagine that watching it back is like so funny for her.
Oh, I'm sure. She's probably so pissed off. You know what I mean?
She might be. One of the hot takes that somebody sent in is that I don't think we're going to play, but shout out to you, is that Mara only really wants to get to the end to like have more visibility with like an American audience, but like doesn't actually care about winning the show because she doesn't need the money.
Yeah.
And I don't think she needs it.
I agree. I don't think she needs the money either. That hot take did mention also, and there was not a name attached to this hot take, so I apologize to you. But they mentioned how she maybe has like a 6-figure deal with Victoria's Secret, which I do think could be true because I noticed that she recently got a visa to be in the United States. So she has like a temporary like visa passport to be here in the US. So obviously she's doing consistent work here.
Yeah, it's been reported by like some not very credible outlets, but a lot. The Sun, Daily Mail.
Yeah. Like I think it's
105.
more, like whatever she's got going on is more than just press for Traitors. Obviously, if she was able to get a visa for work, I think
clearly. Oh, she's been doing so much outside of press. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, get your bag, girl. Get your bag.
Totally. But like also having 4 million Instagram followers, like she's going to be able to make 200K or whatever the prize fund ends up being regardless of
4 million.
Uh-huh.
Holy shit. I don't think I realized she had that many.
Yeah, we should maybe go over the following counts of our finalists.
We haven't actually talked about that at all.
Also, I just opened Instagram to check, and it reminded me to send a congratulations to Kale and Tyra from Love Island, Australia, who are having a baby.
No, congrats to Kale and Tyra. So exciting.
They're going to be such cute parents.
Such cute parents. I'm so happy for them. I love them as a couple.
Yeah. Mara has 4.1 million Instagram followers.
Shout out to her.
Rob has 1.7.
Which is crazy low, considering.
You think?
I mean, that's pretty high especially for a guy, but still.
Johnny has 984K.
Wow.
Tara Lipinski has 989K, almost exactly the same. Mark has 1.2 million. Who am I missing? Natalie and Eric?
Yeah.
Natalie, go follow Natalie.
Okay.
Natalie only has 122K.
Ooh, Natalie.
And Eric Nam has 4.2, our winner.
Yeah. I expected Eric to have quite a few. Yeah. That doesn't shock me. He's a K-pop star.
Yeah, K-pop, exactly. So did I get all of them? Johnny, Tara. Yeah, that was all of them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was funny because last night I was with some of my friends who are going to watch Traitors but aren't actively watching it. And we were talking to my friend's husband and we were like, do you know who Tara Lipinski is? And he was like, yeah. And he like came back to it and we were like, do you know who Johnny Weir is? And he was like, yeah. And it was like, it was funny because we were like, yeah, they're both in Traitors. So like if you were watching, like you would see them. And he said something about like, Johnny Weir, like he's like, Johnny Weir's no Tara Lipinski. He can't skate like she can. I was like, what? How do you know this lore about figure skating?
But does he know that they're best friends?
I don't know if he did. I should have asked. It was not top of mind.
Gathered some research for me, some data.
That's a good point. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention was Tara has this ITM where she's like, I slept on it, and I don't think it's Natalie. I think.
She goes, I slept on it, and I realized it's not Natalie.
Right. But then she goes, I think. Like, she's so sure and unsure at the same time.
She has, and her and Johnny will talk about this later, like, this game has taught them not to trust anyone and also not to trust themselves.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we then see Mark and Rob walk outside, and Mark asks Rob, look me in the eyes and tell me that you're not a traitor.
He says, it's not you, right? And Rob goes, yeah.
And Rob has this tell, and thank you to this person on Threads who pointed this out. Whenever he's nervous or is lying, he sticks his tongue to the side of his mouth. He goes like this. And he does that here, and he does that many other times in this episode, and he's done that previously in other episodes. So just a little something. If you are ever with Rob, lucky you, first of all. B, if he does that, he's lying or he's nervous. So just keep that in mind. But they talk and they discuss whether or not it could be Eric. Rob ITMs that he wants to banish Natalie tonight. And then we see Mara and Natalie just talk about who they think could be the traitor. And they're like, why are we still here? And Natalie's using this as fuel.
She brings us up consistently. This is like her main point of evidence of like, why am I still here, Natalie?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. She thinks that Rob is protecting her.
Yeah.
Which is true, probably. But
It's not true. He's literally scheming to get rid of her tonight.
well, now. But I think he has been protecting her. But I think he was only doing it because she's good at missions, which she seems to be forgetting.
She's good at missions. Right. That's why you're still here. That's what everyone needs to tell her.
Yes, that is what everyone needs
You're
to tell
winning
her.
us money.
That's what Rob needs to tell her.
Yeah.
Why would I save you? You're on to me. But you're good at missions. Maybe that's why you're still here. Etc. Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, so they bring up Candace mentioning Rob's name, obviously, at the round table. And Mara is like, it can't be Rob. I would drop dead if it was Rob. I would storm out of this castle. I'd set fire.
Does Mara maybe need to be brought into this plan eventually if they're really going to try to go for Rob? Sure. However,
absolutely.
for her to be the first person that they go to with this is such an error. Like, I almost can't believe that they made this decision.
I know they should have talked to Mark.
They should have talked to Johnny. Like, they haven't even talked to Johnny.
That's a good point. They haven't talked to Johnny yet. But I guess Tara's like, Johnny's locked no matter what I say. Like, he'll just listen to me. But
I
still.
guess, but sure, yeah. They should have talked to anyone else. Eric even.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know
I
that that's
know.
a bad move. They know that Mara is a bad move.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. Yeah. I love how blindly Mara is following Rob. I'm so proud of her.
For being bad at the game.
Yes, I'm very proud of her for being bad at the game because she's helping our boy get to the top. I need her to do that.
Also, like, I take back saying that because she's still there. She's going to be there the whole season. She's going to be in the finale, so she's not really bad at the game.
It's true. Well, will she be in the finale? We'll see.
Oh,
I know. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to kill her, but
even in the conversation that they have in the turret, it's like pretty clear that she's the one person not on the table to be killed.
yeah,
We'll talk about it
that's
later.
fair. Yeah. Natalie then ITMs that the more she thinks about it, the more she thinks that it could be Rob and that she has nothing to lose. Johnny then talks to the boys and says that if they don't get a traitor tonight, they are fucked. And then we move into our mission. Before the mission, we see Tara in the car telling Johnny and
Before the
Natalie-
mission, we see Amazon product placement.
Yes, thank you. I left that out because I was annoyed. But it's notable.
I mention it because I'm annoyed.
Yeah, it is annoying. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It was so weird and unnecessary, but obviously necessary. Go off, make your money. They have to pay that price somehow.
That's true, they do. Gotta dance with the devil. So yeah, Tara tells Johnny and Natalie in the car that she thinks that Rob is the traitor, and Johnny wonders if Candace left them a breadcrumb. And then in the other car, Mara tells Rob and Eric and Mark that Natalie and Tara suspect Rob.
Rob has no fucking visible reaction.
Yeah, he's so unfazed. I don't know how he does that, actually. It's very impressive. Just the calm, cool, and collected at all times.
Yeah.
Mark then says that this is Natalie's thing. And I'm like, yes, latch on to that. This is Natalie's thing. You're right.
Yeah.
And Rob ITMs that getting the shield today is the most important thing that he can do so that he has the ability to kill anyone.
Yes.
And then they enter the Karis Hell. And we see Alan. And I just made a note that Lala had her own little spinning chair next to Alan.
yeah.
So cute.
I love her.
Me too. I love Lala.
So we're told that Eric and Tara are not riding the carousel due to medical reasons, which is like absolutely not our place to speculate on what those medical reasons are. But I'll just say if two of the players can't do it, like, do something else. It felt so unfair.
It did feel unfair. Like, they obviously had to take the extra time to get their dummy out of the chair, but still, they're not dizzy.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was unfair to them. I mean, Eric wins. Like,
It was unfair to the people who didn't have to spin. Sorry, unfair to the people who had to spin.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm with you. I agree. Because they're dizzy as fuck.
Yeah, and like, it's not going to take, I mean, they have to unstrap their dummy or they have to unstrap themselves. Like, I don't know. I know they have to unstrap themselves and then go to the thing and get it. I just thought it was super unfair. I feel like at that point, like, okay, sure, one person can't do it. Great. Two people can't do it out of a very small group. Do a different thing.
Right.
So anyway, most of them, but with two dummies strap into the spinning ride, and then they have to get off and find bags of gold inside of basically stuffed animals. They're all stuffed animals. And then to bank the money, they get back on a chair. They cannot get back onto the ride until they bank the gold, and in between each round, it will spin 5 times. And specifically, Alan says, whoever is sitting on my carousel at the end will secure a shield. To me, that very, very clearly meant, what could that mean other than a chair is going to be removed at the end of each round?
Yeah. Initially, I didn't think of that, but once I watched it again, I was like, that does seem obvious. Because how else would you only have one person left?
I didn't even think that deep about it. I just was like, oh, obviously that's how the game works. Like, literally in what other scenario? Because if you're thinking about getting the shield, in what other scenario would there only be one person left?
Right. I don't know. Maybe they get shot. Just kidding. Or tackled by Fergus. Who knows?
Anyway, I just have to like really be strong about that because I thought that it was pretty clear, and I thought that it was a huge Rob error that he didn't put that together.
It was a huge Rob error. He is smart enough to figure that out, and I think it goes to show how tired he probably is.
Yeah, I think so too. When I watched it the second time, I was really looking to see, like, did he find multiple bags of gold and was like looking for the biggest one?
I was looking for that too.
And I didn't see that he did, but it feels like he did based on his reaction to Mark. So
I agree.
Essentially, we see Natalie, Mara, Eric, Johnny, Tara, and Mark find gold. Rob finds a $2,500 bag, runs back, and goes, there's not a seat for me. And then Alan is like, oh, I forgot to mention a seat will be removed each time. And based on, yes, his reaction to Mark, he's like, you got on with 750. And Mark is like, well, that's all I found. He's like, you could have found something else. That's what made me wonder, like, is he pissed that he didn't get back because he was specifically looking for the highest amount? But also, like, without the musical chairs aspect, like, why the rush? Why are they even like rushing to get, why are they running during the first round if they didn't realize that that's what was going on?
Yeah, I agree. I think you do have to kind of think ahead. Like, why are we rushing to get to this if we're all guaranteed a seat? There must be a twist that we're not thinking of here. Yeah. When Rob gets mad too, he's like, and he gets like pissed off at Mark. He's like, I'm not mad at you. And Alan's like,
you're mad at the game.
That really made me laugh.
Yeah.
Just the way that Alan said that. He's mad at the game.
Yeah. But I also think that Rob getting mad at Mark was an error, because then we see Mark ITM that like ultimately it made him realize that he is alone in this game. And yes, he has Rob as an ally, but that Rob will always choose Mara over him. And I was like, oof, that's not good.
Yeah, I agree that it's not good. And I think that will play into what happens in the future. Rob does his little iconic eye roll here, which is great to see.
When he finds out that he has to sit down, he's so huffy. He rolls his eyes. And then he has that exchange with Mark and then Alan. Yes. Excellent point. Glad you brought it up. In the next round, we see Tara, Eric, Natalie, and Mara get back. But first we see, this is I think when Mara has, like, she thinks that she found a stuffy with money in it, and she brings it all the way back to the carousel, ripping it open. And when there's nothing in it, she goes, you're joking.
You're joking.
It's just...
That's perfect.
We couldn't have ended the season without that from our Queen Mara Higgins.
The back-to-back of Rob eye roll and Mara you're joking was cinema. That was perfect for me. That was for us.
Yeah, it's like IYKYK to the nth degree.
Yes, exactly. Mara was so funny during this challenge.
She was destroying me during this challenge.
She was like, fuck this shit.
So for the next round, we see Eric and Mara get back because they've removed 2 chairs this time. And I wrote, Rob is very lucky that these are the last 2 remaining.
I know. So lucky.
And then it is between Eric and Mara, and Eric gets back, maybe because he hasn't been spinning. but also whatever.
Yeah.
So he gets the shield and they earn $24,500. Honestly, nothing to scoff at, Robert.
Yeah. Decent amount.
We see Natalie ITM and then also talk in the car on the way back about how she felt like Rob's acting was so bad. And I was like, I think he was really pissed. Like, I think he was genuinely pissed that he was the first out in the challenge and didn't have the opportunity to get the shield, not because he was worrying about being murdered, but because he wanted to murder whoever he wanted to. Like, it wasn't giving acting at all to me, but she really leans into this point.
She does. And I'm like, this is the first time he's not acting.
No, exactly. Yes.
He's a crash out queen. That's why we love him.
Right. Like, this is the most true Rob, but she's come out and spoken, and she obviously, I'm not surprised, hasn't seen Love Island, so she didn't know who he was.
Of course.
But we see Rob float this idea in the car back that Natalie must have gotten recruited because she always used to talk to him and lean on him. And he feels like the energy has shifted with her the last few days. And yeah, Natalie says that his acting was bad. I'm pretty sure that this is when she says, like, he said he's so scared to be murdered. He's never said that before. And I was like, interesting, because I can actually think of 2 instances off the top of my head that Natalie was there for where Rob said that, which is number 1 in the Dagger 6 that Natalie was a part of. When he made that pact, he said, I'm scared I'm going to be murdered, so let's not tell anyone who has it. And then in the gallery, when we saw the 3 people who went to the gallery had the opportunity to get the shield, he was like, I'm scared I'm going to be killed, so I want to be able to go to the gallery.
Yeah. I thought of those instances as well.
Just wrong.
Right. She's wrong.
She has an instinct that's right, but she can't back it up with facts because he hasn't given them anything.
I know.
That's what's beautiful.
I agree.
I do want to note that in the car, Tara specifically says to Natalie and Johnny, I wonder if it's better if we do think it's Rob to go for him tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then the voting math here essentially is that, like, our 2 teams are essentially the ones that are in the car. So we have a car of Natalie, Tara, and Johnny. That's 3 votes. And then we have a car of Rob, who has 2 votes. Mara, Eric, and Mark. That's 5 votes. And so they would need to sway 2 people to their side in order to get him out. And I think it's smart of Tara to realize she can't do that. I also think that this just speaks to the game that Rob has played all season, that it's taken them this long to be suspicious of him, and now they don't have the numbers.
Yes, I 100% agree. And I think it's this hesitation from Tara regarding the math of it all that leads to a lot of what ends up happening at the round table. I don't blame her for wanting to hold off on trying to get Rob out until they're more certain.
Yeah, or I mean, until they can get people on their side. And like, they've been trying to recruit people today pretty unsuccessfully, honestly.
Yes.
Rob tells Natalie as they're getting dinner that he thinks that him or Mark will probably be murdered tonight because they're obviously faithfuls, and that's a threat. Meaning basically, like, people who are super clearly faithful in this game will only really ever be murdered, not banished.
Yes.
And Tara tells Mark that she thinks it's Rob. And Natalie comes in and she's like, I could have been murdered. Rob is protecting me. Why haven't I been murdered? Or why wasn't I murdered last night specifically? I should have been murdered. And I thought this was such a huge missed opportunity for Mark to realize you're alive because Kristen had to be murdered because she was suspicious of Eric.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that conversation happened and we didn't see it, but it would have been relevant to bring up and or show.
I don't think it happened because why would it not be relevant if there was like another suspect on the table?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really understand why Mark isn't suspicious of Eric this entire episode until the very end.
It is peculiar. I would have expected, I think just because it seems so obvious. But this is the thing, is the faithfuls are like, they're being given the obvious thing a lot. And because it's so obvious, they're missing it. And I think Mark is just like, would they be that dumb?
Tell me you're not a traitor. And Rob goes, yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean,
they're just hearing what they
that
want to
feels
hear.
like a giveaway to me. I'm like, you can't tell me straight to my face that you're not.
I'd
I'm not
be
a traitor. You
shocked
can't say
if you were a traitor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-oh, red flag. Uh-oh.
Also, I was wrong. This conversation with Tara, Natalie, and Mark is actually where Natalie says that thing about him overacting and how he's never said before that he was scared to be murdered, which, again, not true. We have 2 instances of that off the top of our heads that happened directly in front of Natalie. They do bring up the Candace vote, and Mark is like, yeah, that's something that I've thought about. Like, obviously, that's information that they all have had to hold on to. And Mark ITMs that he has really trusted Rob in this game, but he has noticed that today he seems more nervous. It's so interesting them trying to understand him. And like, I honestly feel like Mara, of anyone who we know has watched his season, like should know him and how he acts better than anyone. But I think she's just under his spell because it's like, they're wrong. Like, he's not nervous and he's also not acting. Like, he is tired, annoyed, and guilty.
I think it is actually not discussed enough how incredible of the work that Rob has done to get Mara to be so loyal to him.
Because people don't know, like we know, how disloyal she was.
Absolutely. She has no, like, he was very much villainized on his season of Love Island. She was the After Sun host. She had to talk to Leah and Sally, and like all these people and like hear all about Rob and like all this other stuff. And obviously, like, the show liked Rob. You know, they had the whole like producer Rob or Rob's Island commentary that came up during that season. But still, Mara Higgins seems like the type to me to be like, that's a load of shite and fuck this guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but to be fair, before he did any work to get her on his side, the minute that she saw him, she said, you have to have my back. Like, she was like, we are united through this common cause. So she was fully prepared to have an allyship.
But I still think that, like, he's done a lot of work to solidify that allyship.
Yeah.
Because she could have turned on him at any point. She says, nah, get behind me, Rob. I'm going to fight.
I think that the difference is he has had to do work to convince her that he's a faithful, not necessarily to be like, we're connected, we'll be on each other's teams, but like to get her to the point of being like, I'm 100% sure that you're a faithful.
Right. It's still, it's incredible work.
Yeah.
All right. We then see Johnny tell Eric that Natalie is really pushing Rob. And then Johnny ITMs that they have a solid case, they being Eric, Rob, and Mara, have a solid case for Natalie. But Johnny does think that Rob could be a traitor. We then see Rob tell Mara.
I actually wrote this down word for word.
Verbatim?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So Eric and Johnny and Mara and Rob are talking at dinner, and then Eric and Johnny leave. And Rob immediately just doesn't even look at her. He just goes, listen, we need to get Natalie out tonight. And then no matter what, we get out Tara and Johnny. We're on the same page. Chicken was pretty good. I was like, he is puppeting the fuck out of her.
It was a weirdly cut scene.
I don't think it was. I think he just was like, I mean, everything is, but I don't think that we were misled. I think that he is like, she is so loyal to me and so certain that I'm a faithful that I don't really need to have any pretenses here. I'm just going to tell her my game plan and she's going to believe that I have a reason for it. Mm-hmm. And she didn't question it one fucking bit.
No. Although she sits there like pondering. She's tinking. And she's
tinking tree tots about the throwaway vote.
She's tinking maybe Rob could be a traitor. Yeah, I don't know. There was like this moment where I was like, is she going to be suspicious of him because of how flippantly he just shared that information? But I do think she was just like, okay, this makes sense to me as a game plan for us.
I guess it's because like those are the teams, like, and their team does have more people right now, and with Rob having the dagger, like significantly more votes, and so they are able to. But it's just like, it's interesting because it's not really about who's a faithful or who's a traitor. It's just like, we're gonna get the other team out. Is the approach he's taking here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking. Okay, I was tinking.
Tinkin.
Tara and Johnny then say that they are really unsure of what to think. And Johnny basically tells her that like everyone else is saying Natalie, and Tara's like, I would have a really hard time voting for Natalie right now at the round table, and says that like, she's like, Johnny, you're like not buying her thing, are you? And he's like, she's a professional gamer. And it just really puts so much doubt into Tara's head. And the switch up though is pretty crazy for her to go from, I don't think I could vote for Natalie tonight, I really don't think she's a traitor, to everything that then happens.
Well, it's because of how Natalie then approaches her at the round table. They have like a very weird dynamic, Tara and Natalie.
I have a lot to say about this round table. So I'm excited. Let's get into it. Okay. All right. So Alan comes in and lets us know that the prize pot currently stands at $180,000. Tara says that she has tried to follow her heart to find traitors, and she doesn't want to throw out anything wrong, so she will not be taking the lead in this discussion.
Well, she says, I hope someone else can lead, because I don't want to throw out anything that could be wrong for the faithfuls again. And if I was Natalie and what plays out, I 100% would have felt like Tara set me up.
I agree.
Because saying that, like, she planted the seed earlier. Absolutely, Natalie watered it and took it and ran with it. But like,
yes,
to then be like, I hope somebody else can lead this theory that I started, because I don't want to throw out something wrong again. I want the heat to be on somebody else if it's wrong. And then Natalie has to take charge of it. And Natalie, like, I would have been pissed.
I would have been pissed too. Yeah, because it was Tara who came up with the idea, and then they didn't get it together enough before the round table. They didn't really do a good enough job strategizing because they were too busy trying to whip votes. And they should have been like, what are we doing at the round table? Who's speaking up? Who is saying what?
Well, it's not that they were trying to whip votes. It's that they were unsuccessfully trying to whip votes. It's like, if you're whipping votes and it's working, great. But they clearly, like, even going into the round table, Natalie was like, tonight it's all about numbers. And we have me, Tara, and Johnny. And I'm like, okay, so where you started the day. Like, you haven't gotten anyone else on your side. And you're right. Like, they should have been putting together a roundtable strategy, or, you know, really like piecing evidence together to present it to the rest of the group. But I don't know. They just absolutely flubbed this entire thing like I've never seen before.
Same. It was rough. Rob says that he hasn't yet been suspicious of Natalie, but that in the last few days he's felt more distance from her. And she says, I agree. I feel like I've felt a change in your demeanor. And then they have this discussion about like killing gamers and whether or not this is a good or bad strategy for her if she were a traitor. And then Mara says that you can't really make this argument about like, why am I still here? And why are the people I've trusted not here? That kind of thing, because they've all lost people that they've trusted. Natalie then says that she has been wondering why she's still here, and she's trying to look at blind spots. She thinks that maybe she's had a traitor angel, and then she brings up Rob's name. She then mentions Candace's vote for Rob, and Mark says that he felt that Candace's vote was really weird, and Candace is also the most likely to make a strategy kind of play. Which is like, oh, Mark, you're there. You're almost there. You've got it.
But
you're hot on the tail.
Opposite.
Rob then speaks up and is like, does anyone want me to defend myself?
This man is pissed.
He is pissed, but also like I it was like everyone really was speaking for him, and I thought that it was very funny the immediacy with which everyone was trying to defend him and talk it out for him.
Yeah, it's because there are these two teams, and one team is Rob is a traitor, and one team is Rob is definitely not a traitor. And so then, Mark jumped in, and then later we'll see Mara jump in instead of Rob having to defend himself, which usually you're kind of on an island defending yourself at a round table. But again, this speaks to the alliances, the game, and the alliances that he's built and played.
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. But Rob says that the vote from Candace was just fucking weird. He just thought it was fucking weird. And it was half-assed and it didn't make any sense.
She's like, I dropped a fork. Okay.
Like, what of it?
Yeah.
And Natalie's like, I understand that we're grasping, but we have to be grasping at this point.
Yeah.
And she then mentions that Tara said that the Candace vote was a breadcrumb.
She says, even Tara says it could have been a breadcrumb. And then Tara says, yes, it could have been. or it could have been just a wild card thing. So that's where I'm starting to second guess.
Okay, so I want to pause here because this might have been the editing, but the reaction that Tara had, visual reaction that Tara had to what Natalie said, made me think about how Tara might have been in that moment a little pissed off at Natalie for pretty much giving away their entire game plan.
Oh, I don't think this is an editing thing. I think that's exactly what happened because this is the reason that I made sure to point out Tara's comment in the car about maybe we hold this for tomorrow.
Yes.
I do see both of their perspectives. Again, the way that Tara framed it, I understand that Natalie then felt set up. However, I also think that Tara did make it clear, like, I think this, you think this, we have some people who think this, but tonight is not the night. And Natalie then ran with it and like expected Tara to back her, and she wasn't willing to, but she told you she wasn't willing to.
Yes.
And like, that's fair because Rob is dangerous right now. Either he is a traitor with a dagger or he's a faithful with a dagger. But either way, you don't want to be on his bad side.
And not just that, assuming Rob is a traitor or not, the traitor is sitting at the table. And so it's like, if Rob really is a traitor, you're giving him ammo of who to kill right here in front of everybody, because now he knows who's putting it together that it could be him. That's the kind of information you have to keep away from a traitor.
100%. 100%.
And also, this move from Natalie really puts Tara on the defense because now it makes Tara look really fucking bad. It's like a two-folded situation where
if you do make it through this round table, you now have enemies that you didn't have before.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So Natalie then says to Tara, says to the table, I was told something else by some people, and now it's very different. I put my guard down this morning, but obviously I was taken advantage of.
Yeah. And then she does say that Tara brought the idea to her, and now she's not saying anything.
Yeah. And then Johnny says, I listened to you guys having this conversation, and I said the numbers would have to look like this, but I have never committed today either way.
And that is another thing, too, where they're telling the traders too much information. They're basically like, we were literally doing the math on how to get out Rob today.
Literally, they're laying out exactly what's been happening all day. It came from Tara. Yes. She brought it to Natalie. Natalie now feels taken advantage of. They're talking about it in the car. They did the math. They realized they didn't have the numbers. So Tara decided not to, but Natalie ran with it. Like, Rob knows exactly what the fuck happened.
Yeah. And he's like, sick. Now I know where to go from here.
And I know who is willing to vote for me, even if they're not going to vote for me tonight.
Yeah. And now like Tara and Natalie are both on defense because Natalie looks like a traitor and Tara looks like they both feel like now they look like a traitor.
100%. So then Rob jumps in and he says, this is why I'm like, you're very smart. He says that to Natalie. And then he goes, and you're smart too, to Tara.
That killed me. And you're smart too. The way he said that was like, baby girl, it's okay.
It's literally like a parent talking to their two children.
Yes. That's
why I'm like, you're very smart and you're smart too. But it's just interesting that you are coming in here with her plan.
Yeah.
Rob totally spins this. So now it looks like Natalie is fucking guilty.
Woo! Oh, it's good. So then Mara says that Tara keeps coming up with names without any kind of reasoning to back it up. And then they bicker a little bit. Tara and Mara bicker a little bit. And then Alan says, the talk is over. We still have this dagger. Does anyone who has the dagger want to use the dagger? Rob raises his hand.
Jesus.
Rob raises his hand and says
he doesn't do that. But based on you knocking something over, I do think you're a little suspicious, and I do think he might be the traitor.
I dropped a fork. Oh my gosh. Tara then ITMs that she had a strong feeling about Rob, but now Natalie seems suspicious again. And before they go into the vote, Rob says, this is a game of paranoia, and this is the most paranoid I've ever been. And we get this shot of him. I don't know if it's like such a small shot. All right, I was just like, this is so silly, but he starts to like write down a name, and the way it's like the angle of the shot, it's like from bottom up here, and like the way he starts to write his name and he's like looking around the room, he just looked like a kid, and it like made me laugh. Like he looked really stupid. It was very funny to me. I don't know if you caught that.
I did not. So Natalie goes first, and she votes for Tara. I am dead that at the end of this day, after so much suspicion has been put onto Rob, not a single person votes for him.
Unfucking believable.
Not a single fucking person. Natalie and Tara just like, this has been such a good distraction for the Traitors. Like that's, I think, a big part of why this season has gone well for Rob is because Michael Rappaport was such a distraction, and then Colton was such a distraction, and now this Tara-Natalie feud has been such a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, the poetry of Rob using the dagger on Natalie that he stole from her.
Such a good point.
Ugh.
Beautiful.
All of these round tables are poetry. Each round table, a verse.
Yes.
But yeah, his excuse is basically that he does not like the plan against him. And then everyone else also votes for Natalie. Literally everyone else. Mark, Tara, Mara, which is the final vote to banish her. But we see that Eric and Johnny also voted for Natalie. And before Johnny, who's the last one to go, puts his card up, Natalie goes, "Don't say sorry, Johnny. When you put your card up, just don't say sorry."
Rough.
I did want to note that when Tara voted for Natalie, she said, "Natalie, I voted for you. I do not think you're a traitor after our conversation today, but I have had a gut instinct on you from the beginning, and I felt a little attacked here, and I voted for you." And I thought that was weird strategically.
Say more about that.
To vote for somebody and in your vote say, "I don't think you're a traitor." The only time that that's ever worked has been against Michael Rappaport because they were all on board that like they needed to get him out because he was a distraction and being really hurtful. Mm-hmm. But I just thought that was interesting that she would choose to say in that moment, like, "I feel attacked and therefore I'm voting you out," but I don't think you're a traitor. Especially because like, you just laid out your entire day on the table. The Traitors, whoever they are, now know that you guys have been doing the math to get Rob out, and now you're taking out one of your own. Like, what position does that leave you and Johnny in? Now they're just fully alone.
She's not thinking of the game in these moments. She's just thinking personally. You know what I mean? I feel like this happens a lot, especially with the reality TV version, where they're like, "You're giving me the vibe of being a bad person, thus you must be a traitor," rather than like within the game scenario.
But she didn't say you're a traitor. She said, I don't think you're a traitor.
I know, but I think that's what I feel like she's trying to say, like, I don't think you're a traitor, but you're like, you feel like a bad person to me, so I'm gonna vote you out, even though like that's not good strategy for the game.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Obviously, Natalie goes on to the Circle of Truth and tells everyone that she's a faithful. And Rob says, "We're fucked."
And they are.
Not him. The faithfuls are.
Yes. The faithfuls are fucked.
Tara says that she doesn't want to play this game anymore. And then as they're all walking out, she goes, "I'm okay with being murdered tonight."
I know.
Girl, that means you're not going to be murdered. Because if you've just fully given up on this game, you're the perfect person to keep in it.
Absolutely. And she like cries in Mark's arms, and he's like, "It's just a game. It's just a game."
I know. And then the same thing happens with Mara in the kitchen. She goes in, she's crying. Mara hugs her, and she goes, "You have to start playing. It's such a game." And she goes, "I can't."
I know.
Crazy.
She's taking this really personally.
And then Mark is laying on the pool table, and Rob goes and joins him. I loved this visual.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We're getting played." And they agree. Mark is like, "I don't believe that Tara was performing tonight. That felt genuine. If that was acting, Oscar."
Yeah.
Rob agrees
Yeah.
with him. And then we see in this moment finally that Eric, he starts to finally have the suspicion on Eric. He goes, Eric said nothing tonight.
Yeah.
And then we see Johnny, Tara, and Mara also discussing that it could be Eric.
Right.
And we see Johnny ITM. I think there are 2 traitors remaining, and it's Rob and Eric.
Right on the money, Johnny.
Like,
Right on the money.
I was like,
But they don't have the votes.
they don't.
They don't have the votes.
And then in the turret, Eric says that Rob handled the round table with poise. And Rob is like, you said nothing. You have to speak up more. And Eric is like, well, I thought it'd be weird if I like came at Natalie or said something against Natalie. And I'm like, well, but you voted for her. So like, if it's weird to say something about her, it's weird to vote for her. Like, you should have said something.
Exactly.
Alan comes in and lets them know that they will be picking someone to murder, and the murder will be revealed in front of everyone. Rob ITMs. He's more sensitive than people think. And he does have a big heart. No, we know. And he has to remind himself that it is just a game.
Empathetic king.
They weigh out who to kill. Rob mentions that Mark talked a lot about Eric today, and Rob says that Mara is an ally, but it gets heat off of him. But I feel like they talk about the pros and cons of killing everyone. They say he ITMs that it would get the heat off of him, but like their conversation in the turret, they agree that Mara is the most important part of their strategy moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then they walk outside and there's a coffin, and Mara keeps being like, I'm gone. And Alan says that the faithful who has been murdered is, and for some reason people thought that they were going to get the answer.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah. I'm like,
Why would they do that?
We always find out who's murdered the next episode. It's just because you saw this lead up that you thought that we were going to find out.
Yeah. So let's discuss who they should kill. I believe we are in agreement on this one, though.
Okay. I have 2 scenarios that I could see playing out, but you go first.
Okay, so I think that they should kill Mark, because now in this game, it's just a numbers game, because they aren't going to find out if anyone is a traitor or a faithful after they banish people, like until the very, very end. So like
no. So this is the other piece that we didn't understand when we were talking about it before. Not anyone. The next round table, somebody will be banished without revealing their identity. Anyone that's banished beyond that, they find out.
At the fire pit?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's hard when this show airs like once a year, because then I forget the finer details like that. Okay, so the next round table, they won't know if it's a faithful or a traitor.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, either way, it doesn't really matter. It's still a numbers game, all in all.
Yeah.
I don't think that Rob necessarily needs like an alibi. So I don't think he said, like he could kill Mara to like get some heat off of him, but I don't think he needs that. I think he just needs like a numbers protection. So like numbers wise, he has obviously himself, he has Eric, and he has Mara, and that's 3 votes to protect himself. If they kill Mark, then it's only Tara and Johnny against him. And obviously like at the fire pit, it could get wonky, but he would still have the protection of the 3 votes because they're still voting the same kind of way. So if he does kill Mara, though, Mark would need to be swayed and solidified, and that seems like a much bigger risk for him to take right now. And I just don't see how he won't actually win this. I do think he'll win.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What was your thoughts?
Both of my finale predictions end with Rob winning.
I love.
So my first prediction is potentially Johnny is murdered. And
that won't happen.
Okay.
Because he has another ITM outfit.
Okay. My prediction is that Mark is murdered. Okay.
Sorry. Share your Johnny one, though.
I guess these are less predictions and more like what I think the smartest thing for them to do moving forward would be, and like smartest way to play it would be.
Yeah.
So if they were to murder Johnny, then I think they could use that to put heat on Tara.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would be left with Mara, Eric, Rob, and Mark banish again and get rid of Eric since Mark is suspicious of Eric, and then Rob would win alone. My alternative prediction is that Mark is murdered, and this does two things. It gets the heat. Well, they think it will get the heat off of Eric, but little do they know that Tara, Johnny, and Mara also think that it could be Eric. But it would be almost as good for Rob as murdering Mara because he's like his second closest ally in the game. And so like if he does need to get heat off of him and say, why would I murder an ally? I think murdering Mark would also serve that purpose.
Yeah.
And then either Johnny or Tara would get banished at the round table. And then at the end, we would have Mara, Eric, and either Johnny or Tara. Potentially at that point, either they would banish Eric again or Rob and Eric would win together.
Right. Yep. I'm so interested to see what happens.
Yeah.
But I think that he's going to make it out of this alive.
I think the question is, will he win it alone or with Eric?
Yeah. I don't know. I think Eric is going to have to be a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
To really solidify Rob's win, but I think that they could win together.
One thing I wanted to mention is I've seen a lot of takes of people being like, of course, Rob wants to protect Eric, like such a boy's boy. And I would like to hear what Rob has to say about that because like that didn't look good on the surface. However, the difference in the situation is he also said in the beginning that he wanted to protect Lisa and Candace. It got to the point with Lisa where there was nothing that he could do to protect her. She was so clearly a traitor that it was over for her. And then he didn't turn on Candace. Candace turned on him.
Exactly.
So I just think, I knew that people were going to say that. People love to call him a misogynist. Go off, I guess.
Yeah, but it's also just like Eric protects him in this game. Like having Eric there is a protect. Like it's not like he's protecting him because he likes men more. He's protecting him because he helps him win. It's not that deep. It's really not that deep.
Well, and also because there's not enough heat on him that protecting him is gonna get him banished. But also like he hasn't turned on Rob.
Yeah.
Like what happened with Lisa and what happened with Candace has not happened with Eric. He is not being forced to turn on him for either of those reasons.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Silly.
Should we do our hot take of the week and then our awards?
Sure. Okay, here we go. This is from Lauren.
Here is my hot take. I think that Mara is going to give up on Rob because the Wonder Twins already have it in the bank. They're not going to split up. There's no way that Johnny and Tara will ever not be on the same team. So when we have Mark getting eliminated first because Alan was like, you saw the M forming in his mouth. So we know it's going to be Mark. It can't be more because Rob is banking on her being there to the very bitter end. However, before she was eliminated, Natalie said, I think it's Rob. She said, I wouldn't think it was Rob. I would never think it was Rob. However, the fact that Johnny and Tara and Natalie all said it, then Tara went back on at the round table, means there's still a shot. Eric is too weak to be on his own. Therefore, he will 100% be called out as a traitor because they know it's not more. She's too faithful. The twins are too faithful. And Rob's already on the chopping block for them. So Johnny said it point blank. I think it's Eric and Rob. And I really think that she's going to go with the twins after she finds out that Eric is out. It's not going to be either of them. It's not going to be her. It has to be Rob, and she's going to leave him. And she's going to divert from him. Sorry, America. It's going to happen. The faithfuls will win. Rob played a great game, but he got a little sloppy at the end picking Eric. Should have gone with Kristen.
Okay. It is a hot take because she thinks that Mara will turn on Rob. Interesting.
I think the part of her take that I disagree with, there are two parts. The biggest part is that Mara will turn on Rob. I just don't see that happening. But I don't, when she said the twins are just too faithful, I don't think that's true. There's been so much heat on them.
I agree. I think there's been too much heat on Johnny and Tara as well. And I think people are going to suspect them continuously, especially after this Natalie debacle.
Exactly. Yeah. But great hot take. Thanks, Lauren, for being our first HTOTW. All right, Mara, who was your MVP of episode 10?
I mean, for God's sakes, who wouldn't it be? It was obviously Rob for getting other people to fight his fights and managing to not get a single fucking vote for him at this roundtable when they were literally coming for him all day.
Yes.
Who was yours?
Rob, but not necessarily for his play in this episode, more so for setting up such strong alliances that by the time they were onto him, it was too late because they didn't have the numbers, which is basically what you said, just framed differently.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was your most toxic?
Also, Rob.
Ooh, I like this. Okay, tell me why.
I didn't like him coming at Mark, and I mean, honestly, he just deserves it. He's had to be toxic. It's not even necessarily a bad thing in the context of this game, but like he's having to lie. Yeah. And the other ones I think are just really scrambling and fighting for their lives. And I don't think they're necessarily being toxic. I think that they're just desperate.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely desperate.
Who was your most toxic?
I gave it to Tara just for the switch up she did on Natalie.
I thought about that, but I do think that she was just really scared.
Mm-hmm. Totally. She's acting out of fear, 100%. But so was Natalie. Yeah. They all are. I mean, they're fucking terrified. They're fucking terrified.
They're terrified because they know that there is an
lose.
all-knowing, all-powerful traitor in their midst.
It's funny watching the show knowing that it's Rob and Eric, because to me it seems so obvious that it's Rob, but I'm like, that's because I know. And like they must be fucking shitting themselves at that round table. Like trying to put myself in like Mark's shoes. I'm just like, I'd be lost. I'd be so deep in the weeds.
Yeah. And I think that like the easiest way to imagine it is to think about the secret traitor and like, did people know it was Donna? Some people suspected it was Donna, but like, I don't know. I kind of thought it was Jam or Michael. Like, I think that that's the closest that we can get to what it's like for the other people. But also, like, that was such a short period of time. And this is an entire season of trying to figure it out and not knowing, whereas we have the benefit of knowing the whole time.
I agree.
What was your LOL moment?
This was tough. Not a lot that really made me LOL on this game. I think because the desperation was so high. I am going to go ahead and give it to Rob saying, "You're really smart. And you are too.
You're smart too." Yeah.
You're smart too. What about you?
Mara during the challenge just screaming when she was like, "What a waste of time. And you're joking.
You're joking."
I died.
Oh, it was so good. What was your error?
Natalie and Tara trying to get Mara to go against Rob.
Yeah.
What was yours?
I did Natalie going too hard in the paint on Rob when they didn't have the numbers.
Yeah.
At the round table.
What was your moment of the week?
Oddly a tough one. I think it was the overalls with the flannel combo.
Oh, that was my least favorite outfit he's worn this entire time.
It was my least favorite as well.
Oh.
You said that was your favorite outfit?
Least. I'm just confused why that's your
No,
moment.
It's not. I'm saying that there weren't a lot of moments because I hated that outfit so much.
Oh.
Yes. And so, but I'm going to give it to the eye roll because that's classic Rob, and it brought me right back to the pool.
Yeah.
And that was hot. So here we go. What about you?
Eye roll Rob.
Hell yeah. All right, what was your most shocking?
Tara being right on the fucking money.
Oh, I know. Actually, her clocking that immediately.
I mean, immediately. 10 episodes in, but
10 episodes in, yeah.
Her clocking it. Yeah. First.
Yes.
What was yours?
Not one vote for Rob at the round table. That really did shock me.
No, nothing will shock me. These people are eating out of the palm of his hand.
I just expected Natalie to vote for him. After all of that, I just expected her to be like,
but Natalie has there's a pattern of Natalie switching up her vote at the round table to just vote for Tara.
Yeah, that's true.
It's weird.
It is weird.
It's, to quote Rob, fucking weird.
It's fucking weird.
Okay, yay! Well, we will see you next week, literally for the finale and for the reunion.
On Thursday.
I said we will see them next week for the finale and the reunion. That's not on Thursday. It's airing on Thursday. We will not see them on Thursday.
Yes, we will see them we will see you, listener. We'll not hear you. I don't know. We'll see you on Thursday for the All Stars, and also we'll get the finale and the reunion, which obviously will air on Monday for us, our airing.
Our recap will come out on Monday. Mara needs to
Thank
go
you.
take a nap, I think.
I don't know why I've been so like jumbly with my words today. I have had coffee. I got enough sleep. I don't know. You know what it is? I'm gonna blame
The martinis.
No, that was Friday. I'm gonna blame the barometric pressure because we're getting like a blizzard and there's like a really immediate low pressure coming in. So I'm gonna blame that.
Okay. Well, if you have any suggestions for that, DM us at She's Got the Chat, but only after you follow us. We'll still give everyone my reggaeton playlist if you want it. 5-star reviews. Leave us reviews. We'd love to have some names to shout out next episode. We love you all, and we will chat with you on Thursday. Bye. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow us at She's Got the Chat on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, and YouTube. Rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. Please share us with a friend, an enemy, a coworker, a family member, a local politician. Bye.